One of the most important lessons I've learned in life is this: be slow to speak, cautious in your actions, but deliberate in your steps after observing carefully. Acting too quickly can lead to regret. Rash decisions often show bias, and hasty words make us seem immature and careless. True wisdom comes from pausing, reflecting, and understanding before we react. I remember a time when this lesson hit me hard. A friend of mine, Mark, was in a heated dispute with another friend, Lisa. Everyone in our circle seemed to take sides quickly. Mark had always been outspoken, sometimes to the point of being aggressive, while Lisa was soft-spoken and seemed reasonable. At first glance, it was easy to believe that Mark was the one at fault. His words were harsh, his actions loud, and I, like many others, rushed to judge him. But one evening, Mark and I sat down to talk. I could see the frustration in his eyes as he finally opened up about everything he had been holding in. Lisa had been quietly undermining him for months, twisting his words, spreading subtle lies, and making him feel cornered. His loudness wasn't aggression, it was the voice of someone pushed to his limits. That moment made me realize how dangerous it is to act on first impressions. If I had paused, listened, and looked beyond appearances, would have seen the full story much sooner. We live in a world where truth and lies often blur. What looks real today might seem fake tomorrow, depending on our position, situation, or perception. This is why it's so important to avoid quick judgments. Sometimes, in trying to silence a rebel, we may unknowingly crush someone else's freedom fighter. And here's another truth that's even harder to accept: the devil isn't always the enemy. People are. Our fears, egos, and insecurities often create battles where none need to exist. Instead of blaming others, we must first face the struggles within ourselves. So now, I choose to slow down. I choose to observe before I act, to listen more and judge less. I remind myself that every situation has layers I may not see at first, and every person has a story I may not understand. If we all practice this, imagine how much conflict we could avoid. Relationships would deepen, misunderstandings would lessen, and the world might feel a little kinder. What about you? Have you ever rushed to judge someone, only to realize later that you didn't know the full story? Or have you found wisdom in taking your time to truly understand? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let's start a conversation and learn from each other.